The locals call this the Fleurieu Peninsula, but please, you can't bastardise a name like that. It's the Fleurieu. It's a beautiful word. It sounds like a cross between flower and flourish or something. It's an area of mellow Mediterranean magnificence, named after Charles-Pierre Claret de Fleurieu, whom, I might add, the history books describe as the eminent French wanderer. And of course, why wouldn't you?
Davo, where are you going, mate?
I too can be an eminent wanderer.
The Fleurieu Peninsula, about a 40-minute drive south of Adelaide, is an undeniably intoxicating brew of wine country charm, big sky scenery and gobsmacking Southern Ocean coastline. Before Australia was federated and South Australia was still a colony, this area was a huge exporter of wheat. Today, this is all that remains of the massive Port Willunga wheat jetty.
In July 1888, Friday the 13th, mind you, the Star of Greece was dashed upon the seabed just out here. The Marine Board of the time investigated and determined that although drunkenness played no part, the cause was a manifest want of skill, which makes me question the sensibility behind naming the Star of Greece restaurant just there after such a disaster, and particularly since it ain't a Greek restaurant.
The Star of Greece has been a staple on the Fleurieu Peninsula for over 20 years, and with decades of experience making wine, drinking wine, and connecting with the region's providors, owner Doug Govan's passion for keeping things local is contagious.
Yeah, so we've got a ceviche kingfish here, which comes from the next gulf over, so around Port Lincoln Way. Calamari, that comes straight out of the waters here, and then you've got the whiting in front of you, which also comes from a little bit further south, mostly around Kangaroo Island. So we're just so blessed with fresh produce like this. My mum and dad brought me down here when I was a kid, school holidays, so I've always loved this spot. The cliffs, the beaches, it's just stunning the whole way down.
While the food and wine at the Star of Greece attracts throngs of those people that like to call themselves foodies every week, Port Willunga's crystal clear water and sand are its main attraction. And if you're looking to make more than a day trip, the jetty, overlooking the entire beach, has the best views in the house. The beds are plush and king-size, and the rooms dial up the open plan vibes all the way to 11. However you choose to wander the Fleurieu, be it hike, bike or saunter, there is one part of this region that must be explored. It's wine. And while this may look like the most chillaxed lawn party ever, this is down the rabbit hole, one of the region's most popular cellar door and food experiences.
How was everything for you guys today? Enjoyed everything? Yeah?
The brainchild of Dom Palumbo and his wife Elise Cook. Wine tastings here are done on the top deck of the family's very own bus.
So this is a Chardonnay, obviously.
That's our Chardonnay, so it's a really fresh take on Chardonnay, really light, very crisp.
And the bus?
We took a sabbatical, spent 2 years going around the country in our combi van, and we used our combi as a tasting room while we did that. So we were selling our wines to restaurants, bottle shops and grey nomads in caravan parks. So that gave us the idea, let's create a bigger version, and that's why you're sitting on a bus.
The wine and the atmosphere are only part of the happening here. The food is all focused on local organic produce. And every weekend, Dom and his chefs roll out what they call the Feed Me experience.
People sit down, they put their trust in us, and we just bring food out to their heart's content, basically.
It's so colourful, it's so fresh.
Well, a lot of the produce is fresh out of our garden, and what doesn't come from our garden comes off of all other beautiful local farms. And it's really important to us. Organic, locally sourced produce is so important to us.
And so, with a head full of Fleurieu wine and a tummy full of organic goodness, it's time for this wanderer to end the day back down at the beach in the crisp, clean waters of the Southern Ocean.
With the most obvious, profound and deepest respect South Australia was where I would traditionally come to recover from the exhaustion of excitement, but what's happened? There must be something in the water, there must be something in the wine. It's fantastic. Fleurieu, magnifique.